Let's go to Major Ogilvie. Major, I hope you're doing well. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Ryan, looking forward to it. Here we go again. It's another year, and we're going to have another great ball game.
No doubt, no doubt. Let me ask you, and I hate to admit this as a media guy because I'm supposed to be neutral, unbiased, but I'm really not. So I'm honest with my audience. I was born in this state, grew up as an Alabama fan. I've got butterflies in my stomach right now because I'm anticipating this game. We're 23 hours away. What is going through a player's mind when you're getting ready to play in a game like this that means so much to so many different people?
Well, I think it's fairly simple. I mean, players are getting mentally ready and going through all their progressions of things they've got to do to help their team be successful. And beyond that, I don't know that, at least in my mind, there's a lot more emotion that goes into this game any different than any other big game. This is just another big game for us.
Well, and that's one of the things that you look at. I mean, I know it's the next big game, but this Alabama and Auburn game, just growing up in this state, understanding the importance of this game, I mean, the state stands still for 3.5 hours. Does that pressure? I mean, do you feel that pressure, or you try to block it out and mentally put it away and sort of let the fans worry about that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you let the fans worry about that. You know, our guys are concentrating on playing for the national championship, just like we were when I was playing. And, there are things you have to do to give yourself a good chance to do that. And so, they're really, you really concentrating again on what you've got to do to help the team be successful. And so, the thing about this game has been true for a long time. I mean, if you're playing for the national championship game, it's important because you can't lose. Because if you do, you're somewhat, or really, especially today, you're out of the picture. So, it doesn't help you to accomplish your goals. So, it's the next game. It's important from the standpoint that you got to win it to keep yourself in the race to have a chance to win a national championship.
Major, you were part of another great dynasty in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you ever lost to Auburn, right? You never lost to Auburn. I don't think you ever lost to Tennessee either. Am I right?
That is correct.
Okay. But you were in a great dynasty. Help us understand what Nick Saban has been able to accomplish from a dynasty standpoint. I mean, he's got 4 out of the last 7 years. He's going for 5 national titles out of the last 8 years. I mean, you have to reach back and pinch yourself. You got 23 seniors that tomorrow will walk in on that field for their final time, and they're walking out of here 48-5. I mean, that's crazy math. It's crazy to just help us understand the dynasty that you was part of and the dynasty that's happening now here at Alabama.
Well, number one, getting back to your original point, I mean, Coach Saban does a fantastic job. I mean, no question about it. Something we can all be proud of. And of course, his record speaks for itself there. But there's a lot of things that go in place. Our university enjoys great tradition. We have great players that are attracted. We have a great administration that supports that and gives it a great chance. And then you got to talk about our fans, because all year long our players get the benefit of high expectations and positive attitudes about the success that our team's going to have the next year. And so, those are big parts of a recipe that have been around there for a long time. And and then you take a leader like Coach Saban is, and the great job that our coaches do. It just maximizes and multiplies, and what a great job he's done leading our program. And like you said, here we are going for our 5th unanimous national championship in the last 7 years. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean when you start reading off the math and you look at these numbers that he's breaking, and I mean he's trying to tie Coach Bryant with national titles. I mean, when you count the one at LSU, which you look back, can you draw a comparison between your coach, Coach Bryant, and Coach Saban? I mean, do you see any similarities?
Oh gosh, they're multiple. I think it starts really with you saw this in Coach Bryant, and you see it in Coach Saban. I mean, just a genuine focus on the game of football and what it takes to be successful, and all the little things that go with it. And both of them were extremely good at that. And again, everything's in a progression, so the levels step up. But yes, there are a lot of comparisons there.
Let me ask you about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, this time last year, was in high school. Mm-hmm. He walks into a national champ locker room. This team has been at the highest level. He comes in and immediately gets respect from his teammates and wins his quarterback job. How difficult is that for a 18-year-old kid to walk in a locker room of 20, 21, 22-year-old kids that have won the national title and be their leader?
Well, in my mind, when I was playing, it's unspeakable because back then it took 2 or 3 years to gain that little intangible confidence that it takes to lead a football team. But one thing about this year's football team that we have, it's obvious that we have tremendous leadership from our leaders, and for Jalen to walk in with that and enjoy that. I think that's helped his situation dramatically, but that's team leadership, and you can't do one without the other. But he's had a great year, and the other thing you got to say about the team this year, and watching Coach Saban's teams, boy, this team sure has a lot of poise and confidence when it comes to playing football games, and they carry themselves. Not to distinguish them from other great teams that we've had, but. Boy, they're just ready to play football and win football games.
Major, looking at this defense from an offensive-minded guy, do you see an area that they could be vulnerable?
No, I really don't. I mean, I would challenge anybody to find one too. And nobody wants to give them a fat head, but we got an awful lot of good defense. And I think getting back to your question about Jalen, I think that's something that was very helpful to him early on when he moved into the starting role. When you got a good defense and you got a good kicking game, well, the rest of it can develop over time, and it's been a perfect kind of year for that.
Major, to go back, is there an Iron Bowl that sticks out to you that you were a part of, that you had a chance to witness?
Well, witness firsthand, yeah. We all of them, in all the games we won, and even the ones we weren't successful at, a lot of things stand out. But I think looking at the 4 Iron Bowl games I participated in, you'd have to look at the 79 game, and when we had to drive late to win the game and beat them. The one thing you see every year in these games, and it's really strange, but there's an awful lot of strange plays in Auburn games every year. I mean, you can't dream up some of the plays that occur and take place, and so that's part of what I remember in that 79 game. There were a couple of plays in that game that just wouldn't happen in 100 years, but they happened that day. Both of them were against us too. So, but the 79 game going into the fourth quarter, we were behind, so we had to make a long drive to win the game.
Absolutely, Major. What do you see in the Auburn Tigers?
Well, there's no question, particularly on defense, they've improved a lot, and I think they're after the second or third game. Obviously, they had some leadership people to step up and really pull them together. I was surprised a little bit that Georgia beat them, but I think they got some injuries. But that's a good football team we're going to play, and I don't care what anybody says when it does come to the Alabama Auburn game and playing in them. It's a 60-minute game, and it is more true today than it was when I played. That on any given day, if a team is hot or if the biorhythms are right or whatever else, the karma or whatever, that it's more true today that a team can win against a highly favored team than it used to be. So they will, as they always do, they'll play us a good football game tomorrow, and our guys are going to have to be ready and be ready to do what they've got to do to win the game too.
As we're trying to get amped up for this game, and the anxiety is there. what would Coach Bryant say prior to a game? I mean, is there one speech that stands out to you that Coach Bryant came in prior to the game and would address his team, and maybe it was to settle you guys down a little bit? I mean, maybe it was try to control the emotions. What was some of those pregame speeches like from Coach Bryant?
Well, typically on Mondays, we would kind of whoever was in charge of the game, and Coach Oliver was, would give the scouting reports and talk about some of the players, and then Coach Bryant would talk to us about what we could expect of the game, about the game. And I remember all 4 years, he basically told us that if we played harder than they did for 60 minutes, we'd win the game. And that's about all I did. I mean, Coach Bryant, we didn't have to have a lot of motion back then to play. We were playing for the national championship, and we had a lot of folks around us that, meaning our fans and all that were encouraging us to win. So I don't remember there being a lot of emotion about the Auburn game. It's just a game we had to go out there and win if we were going to win the national championship.
Major, did you feel pressure of playing at Alabama, knowing what you guys had accomplished in the 70s, that when you got to the point where it was your time to be a star on this football team, did you feel pressure that you didn't want to be a part of the class that did not reach the success that you guys had? I mean, I could almost put myself in the shoes right now of these players here at Alabama. They don't want to be the year that Alabama didn't win an SEC title or didn't win the national title. I mean, did you feel pressure back in the late 70s?
I don't know that I'd use the word pressure. I think, our football program at the university enjoys so much tradition, winning tradition. And so, again, I'm not sure I'd use the word pressure, but I would say that, that was something, and wearing that red jersey was something that were regularly mentioned, and what goes along with that. So, again, I don't know that it was pressure as much as, living up to what we all wanted to accomplish and what we all went to university as far as playing football to do, more so than anything. But that tradition, it is a weight, but it's a very positive one too.
Major, what's it going to be like to walk out tomorrow and represent your teammates from back in the 70s? You and Byron Braggs is going to walk out as the honorary captains for one. What's it feel like to be selected to come back and be a part of this special season, this special run, but to also walk out and represent your teammates from the 70s as the honorary captain tomorrow?
Well, first of all, I'm very honored that they select me, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. But I'm also very proud to be out there and be a part of our university and all the good things that happen there. And so I'm excited about it. I haven't been on the field in a long time, and the last time I was there, I was kind of had goosebumps and all that good stuff. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing Byron. It's been a good many years, and we went through a lot together. We're kind of blood brothers as far as that goes, because every teammate you had, it was hard to make it under Coach Bryant unless you had your teammates pat you on the rear end and tell you to keep it up. But I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it and hearing all the noise and being right in the middle of it tomorrow too.